Hello everyone, and it's time to respond to another INFP video by Frank James. I have to. It's about INFPs. I have to react to it. It's called What INFPs Need in a Partner. I'm going to offer some commentary on whatever points he makes, so if you're up for that, have a listen. If you don't like commentary, then I don't know why you're here. Let's get started.
The INFP personality type is probably one of the most, if not the most, unique. The uniquest, if you will, of the 16 personalities. INFPs are individualistic. They're creative. They do their own thing. So when it comes to relationships, an INFP needs to find a partner who has a few particular characteristics. It can't just be...
I almost felt like he was going to say, like, a particular set of skills, like from Taken. I think that would have been cool. But yes, we do need a partner that has a particular set of skills.
Anyone off the street, all right? They've got to be able to handle an INFP.
Yes.
Not everybody is up to the task. Before we continue...
Yes. So just for the purposes of this video, we're going to kind of skip the sponsorship. Also, I just want to say that was very sweet introduction, Frank. Saying that we're unique and creative and all that stuff. That was so sweet. Thank you.
The first thing an INFP needs in a partner is someone who will respect their feelings. Yes. INFPs are deeply emotional, but the irony is they don't often show it. And lots of times they don't even like talking about it. Their emotions are like an iceberg. You might see a little bit above the surface, but there's so much more going on beneath the surface. An INFP needs to have a partner who understands this and who realizes that there are going to be times where you are feeling things and they're not really going to understand it and that you just have to feel it. INFPs don't react well to people who are like, get over it, or tell you that you shouldn't feel a certain way.
Oh my gosh, yes, that is true. That's one reason I definitely don't share a lot of how I feel especially with people that I don't know, because I have gotten that reaction before. People are like, get over it. You're being too sensitive. You're being too dramatic, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll never tell you anything again. Like, how am I going to feel comfortable opening up to you if when I do, you just invalidate my feelings?
An ideal partner for an INFP will be able to be by their side when they are up and when they are down without questioning the validity of their emotions.
Oh my God, yes, that is so true. Oh my God. If only I could find that. For me, that's a unicorn. In my experience, people just want to be there for the good times. But during the bad times, they disappear. And it's hard to find someone who'll be there even in bad times.
Next, INFPs need someone who can keep them grounded. Someone who is a bit practical. INFPs have wild imaginations. I think INFPs would often rather just spend time in their imaginations than in the real world. The downside of this, of course, is that if you are stuck in your imagination, you're not really living life, and you can let the practical day-to-day things pile up until you're overwhelmed. INFPs need a partner who can appreciate their deep imaginations, but also be like, hey, ground control to Major Tom. Let's take your protein pills and put your helmet on, okay? Relationships are about balance. I'll probably say it several more times throughout this video. So an INFP needs someone who is well grounded in reality and is practical to balance out the INFP.
That's true. Yeah, we can get a little, well, at least for me, definitely like in my own head a lot. And it's hard for me to kind of get things done because I don't want to. It has helped me when I have dated people who are a little bit more practical. I do like that balance. I feel like I probably wouldn't do as well with someone who's also like in their imagination all the time. But again, also someone who, although they are a bit more practical than me, or a lot more practical, they'll still appreciate my imagination and creativity. They're not going to try to dampen that.
This next one is another quality that will balance out an INFP, because an INFP needs someone who will help them be more social. Now, I know a lot of the INFPs watching now are like, no, man, I don't need no help being social. My dream partner is someone who'll stay at home with me and will never have to go out ever again.
Yes.
But hear me out. This doesn't mean you need to find a partner who's like a party animal or someone who likes to go out all the time. In fact, believe it or not, many extroverts I have met consider themselves to be homebodies. But the difference is, when they're around people, they like to engage with them. INFPs, on the other hand, like to stick to themselves. I think it's fair to say that they'd really just prefer not to interact with anyone most of the time. But a lot of that, I think, comes from a fear of judgment. INFPs really care about what everyone else thinks about them, more so than is typical, and not like in a neutral, oh, I wonder what they think, but more like a, oh my gosh, my world is ending because of what they think kind of way.
I don't know. I just want to speak for myself. I don't want people to think that I'm speaking for all INFPs, but as far as for me, like, not that I really care what like everyone thinks, but maybe certain people in certain situations, I think. Like, if you're doing something at work, obviously you want to do a good job, so you do care, maybe like what your boss thinks, what your employees think, what your fellow coworkers think, but maybe you don't care about what your mom thinks about what you do with work. And I think it just depends on the situation for me. Like, in terms of my life decisions, I don't really care what people think, because I do like what I want. I move a lot. I think I've lived in like 7 different cities, and I did it because I wanted to. Nobody else was like, you need to move here, you need to move here. Most of the time people are telling me, don't move here, don't leave. And I still left because I wanted to. I've traveled alone abroad by myself. I just repeated myself, alone by myself. Yeah. So anyway, so I've traveled alone a lot, and do you think everyone was like, yeah, go? I was doing it for them? No, I did it because I wanted to, and everyone was telling me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and I still did it. So I think it just depends. Like, I think if the certain outcome or situation depends on what people think about you, then you care. I act, and when you go on an audition, you do care what the casting agents, directors think, because they're the ones that have to cast you. So I do care what they think. Do I care what the other actors think? Not really. So I think it just depends on the situation. And if the outcome depends on like a certain person, obviously I do care what they think. And yeah, I don't like being judged either, because I feel like INFPs, we're judged really harshly. Maybe because we are kind of different than like most people. Like especially in the US, most people in the US are not INFPs. So I think we're judged and misunderstood a lot. So it is, hurtful that like it feels like we're not really accepted or appreciated for who we are. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Your circuit's dead, there's something wrong kind of way. So having a partner who likes talking to people, someone who can serve as a social buffer, is great for INFPs, because their partner can help them be more social while taking away some of the fear that comes from being solo in a social situation. And that's good. Socializing helps you grow as a person, and ultimately will help you feel more connected with others and get over some of that fear of judgment, which really holds INFPs back.
Balancing each other out is good. It is nice to date someone who's a little bit more extroverted than me, but I don't want to date someone who's like, yeah, like he said, like a partier, or someone who's like way more extroverted than me, because I've just dated extroverts, and for me, I'll be friends with them. I don't have a problem being friends with them, but dating wise, it hasn't been that great, because, well, for some reason they never understand. They get offended when I want to be alone. Like, they don't understand that I need that to like survive. I need my alone time, and they would always get offended and take it personally. So I don't like that. Like, at least with someone who's an introvert, they would understand. They wouldn't like get upset about it. I think I would probably prefer like either an introvert who's a little bit more extroverted than me, or an extrovert who is a little bit more of a homebody and understands introverts. So that would probably be good for me. But someone who's like way more extroverted than me, like I don't think we would get each other.
Now, after your partner has dragged you around to a couple of social events, you'll probably be pretty drained. INFPs need a partner who understands that sometimes you need space and who can respect that.
That's what I was talking about.
Some people get nervous. They freak the F out when an INFP shuts down because to them, being quiet, being closed off, keeping to themselves is something that they would only do if they were very upset. But to an INFP, that's just something you have to do every once in a while.
That's what I said.
You gotta process all the crap going on in your brain. Or maybe you just want to play around in your imagination for a little while and escape from the real world. INFPs need a partner who will realize, oh, okay, you need to recharge, that's okay. I'm going to do my own thing for a while too.
Yes.
When you have a partner who can respect your alone time, it will make that time so much more refreshing for you so that you can engage again even sooner with your partner and the rest of the world. Now, I've already mentioned that INFPs have crazy imaginations. You know, they're out there floating in a most peculiar way. And that's because INFPs love to explore. They are naturally adventurous, even if just in their mind. So they need a partner who will go along with that and help the INFP explore. Because INFPs have an imagination that is focused on the possibilities of the outside world, they need to keep feeding it. They need a partner who will be there for that, whether that's in conversation, exploring new ideas, or actually going out into the real world on adventures.
Yes. Thank you so much for talking about the needing space. That for me is probably like number one because that's been a big problem in my past relationships. And the exploring part, that's why I love traveling. I love traveling. I love going to new places, finding out about like new cultures and just exploring. I definitely would describe myself as, you know, adventurous, curious. So I definitely want someone who is also like that or will encourage that. And that's why for me, someone who loves traveling is a big thing. If you don't love to travel, it's not going to work because I love traveling. So it would be nice if my partner could come along with me.
Without someone who can explore with them, an INFP will get bored and feel trapped. Which is not exactly something you want in a relationship. That's
to all my exes. Because that's a big thing for me. I've gotten bored because people just don't want to do anything. They don't want to explore. They're not curious about the world. They just want to stay home. And yes, I do. Like, I am an introvert and I do like to stay home, but I do like to travel. I want to explore the world. Okay? Don't be boring. If you're boring, I'm going to be bored and I'm going to want to leave. All right? Just saying.
Next, this might seem obvious, but INFPs need someone with whom they can foster a deep connection. INFPs take everything very personally. They feel like their connection with, you know, the barista at Starbucks is special. So in a relationship, they need someone who will also treat the connection as a very special, personal thing. And not everyone is like that. I mean, there are lots of people, even in a loving, healthy relationship, who view the connection with their partner in a less intense, deep way. And to INFPs, that's extremely off-putting. INFPs want the kind of intense relationship where, if the INFP said to someone, "Tell my wife I love her very much," the other person would just reply, "She knows." Lastly, INFPs need someone who can challenge them to grow. Specifically, the place where INFPs need to grow the most is in learning how to get out of their own head a bit more and rely on their own feelings a bit less. INFPs have such a strong inner compass about what they like and don't like, what they think is good and bad, and how they feel about everything, that it can lead them to act kind of selfish and forget about everyone else. The INFP's biggest challenge in life is going to be opening themselves up to realizing that other people's judgments are just as valid as their own. The INFP's superpower is that they know who they are and they have a vision and they're very sure of it, but the cost of letting that go unchecked is that everyone else might think that you only care about yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna have to disagree with that in my case, okay? Just for me. Because I think it just depends on, like, your childhood and stuff. Because for me, I grew up with, like, the opposite, having to put my own feelings aside, even though I knew my own feelings, but I had to just put everything I wanted like on the back burner. All my feelings, like I had to put everyone above me, because I had narcissistic family, and stuff. So they don't care about your feelings. So I had to care about everyone else, and just put everyone above me. And, I've done that for a long time. And, I had to put my goals and everything aside. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'm tired of having to always like put what I want on the back burner, for other people who don't even appreciate me or really care about me. So now I'm like, swinging to the opposite way where, I still care about people, I still, do volunteer work, donate to charity, give when I can, try to help out when I can, but I just try to have more of a balance where instead of like always putting everything I want like on the back burner for everyone else, I'm trying to have a balance where I can still help out and care about people, but also take care of my needs as well, because I was not really taking care of my own needs, and that has led to a lot of mental health issues and other things. So I think it's reasonable, like if you grow up, like I said, like me, where you couldn't really take care of yourself or act on, like pursue the things you wanted because you had to focus on other people. I think it's fine to later be like, hey, it's my time now. Like I haven't, I've put everything I wanted to the side for other people. It's my time now. You only have one life to live. So are you going to just, put everything you want to the side for everyone else your whole life? I think it's good to have a balance. So I'm trying to have that balance where instead of trying to like just live for other people all the time and trying to help them all the time to the point where I just like neglect my own stuff, I'm trying to have a balance where I'm trying to do both. Okay. So you can call me selfish if you want, but I think I have a reason to be a little bit selfish now, because I've had to, for most of my life, not really take care of my own needs.
A good partner will help the INFP realize that they can better achieve their dreams if they can challenge themselves in this way to think, what do other people think? How can I work with others and not just go off on my own and do my own thing as I'm floating around my tin can?
Speaking for myself, because I don't, people have different experiences. I've had a lot of experience and like just grew up, like I said, with narcissistic family and have dated narcissistic people, have had narcissistic friends, and people like that just suck the life out of you. They use you, don't care about you. So that's a lot. That's a lot to have to go through, to be around those like really toxic people your whole life. And, I've had to, I got rid of them, thankfully. Family, you can't really completely get rid of them. When it comes to them, I'm not going to take what they think into account because they're toxic. You can't just like take what everyone says into account because it depends on the person. Like, what if the person who is giving you a certain piece of advice is doing it in a malicious way, like a narcissist, because they're trying to manipulate you? Are you going to take, like, no, don't take their advice. Don't care. Don't listen to them. If it's a person who actually genuinely cares about you and they know you, they, they're coming from a good place. Okay. I'll probably give them more consideration to like what they're saying because I know they're being genuine. They actually care. But like everyone, no, especially like people like, if you're on the internet, posting things on YouTube, am I going to care what some random person that I've never met thinks about me? I'm going to live my life like according to what a person that I've never met says? No. So I think you just have to get good at figuring out whose opinions and judgments to take into consideration. I don't think it's good to tell people to just like listen to everyone, because not everyone is good. There's so many people out there that are just trying to tell you certain things because they're trying to manipulate you, and I don't think it's good to just blanket like be like, hey, everyone's has good intentions and wants to help. No. For my experience, that is not the case.
Check out this video next, and until next time, stay cool and attractive.
Yeah. Spinning chairs. What's up? It's all about the spinning chairs. Okay. Thank you, Frank James. It was a great video. Definitely, had some things to talk about and think about. If you are an INFP, let me know what you think about either what I said, what Frank James said, anything else you feel like sharing. If you're not INFP, it's okay. Still share, whatever. I would love to hear what you have to say. If you like this cute little outfit I'm wearing, it's actually a dress. The link is in the description below. My social media, everything is down there. I do stand-up comedy, so I'm going to be doing some virtual and in-person shows soon. So if you want to see me do that, link is in the description below as well. Also, if you like how my hair looks and you think it looks nice and smooth, well, that is thanks to Nature Lab Tokyo hair products. I highly recommend it. I love how my hair feels when I use them. They have different products depending on what you want to achieve. I use the repair products. So if you want to try them out for yourself, you can use the link in the video description and use coupon code HTRPOD10 to get a 10% discount. Yeah, hope to hear from you guys. Thanks to you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time.